Welcome to the Canelo Alvarez versus Amir Khan media conference call. My name is Victoria, and I will be your operator for today's call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode, and later we will conduct a question-and-answer session. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I'll now turn the call over to Oscar De La Hoya, Chairman and CEO of Golden Boy Promotions. Oscar, you may begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today on this international media conference call for 2004 Olympic silver medal winner and former two-time world champion Amir King Khan. As you know, Amir Khan will battle Canelo Alvarez for the WBC and Ring magazine lineal middleweight world championship, which will be on Cinco de Mayo weekend on May 7th. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and if you can make it to Las Vegas, you can watch it on HBO Pay Per View. We're really excited once again to be working with Amir Khan, and as you know, Golden Boy Promotions is the exclusive promoter to Canelo Khan, and we are thrilled that Amir Khan is once again working with us. This fight is all about speed and power, and history has shown us that these types of fights make it for an exciting one, action-packed fight. And you know, I've said it before. This fight takes me back to Maidana, who had Amir in a really tough fight, and Khan with his amazing footwork and speed and strength, you know, he was able to be victorious. So we are extremely thrilled and excited, and we certainly can't wait for May 7th. I do want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Cerveza Tecate, Born Bold, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Casa Mexico Tequila, and Doom, Fight Like Hell on May 13th. All of the marketing, if you haven't seen it yet, will start kicking in these next couple of days. They are doing a tremendous job on a global scale to make sure that everyone knows about this tremendous fight. Tickets are still available, and they are moving fast. We expect a sellout crowd. We expect a lot of Brits. We expect a lot of wonderful fans from all over the world supporting these two great fighters. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, you know that they are moving fast. The next person the person I will introduce to you now, I am happy to call a friend, a man that I've always admired. He's brought up Amir Khan in such a way that a lot of people should be envious about. You know, he is Amir's father and manager, and that is Shah Khan. Shah.
Thank you, Oscar. Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming online for this media conference call. Yeah, I think it's a great fight. You know, our issues have gone really well. Really up for a challenge for him, and we'll keep up for the challenge. The interest in UK is incredible. Massive interest. Just from the office, we sold like 1,000 tickets, you know, not talking about the ticket, you know, other ticket outlets. And it's a massive interest in the UK. And looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night of boxing. But like I said, preparation's gone really well, and I'm here to up for this fight, and it's going to be a great fight by two great fighters. You know, you've got power, and you've got a guy with speed, and I think it's going to be a tremendous fight of boxing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shah. Next up, to say a few words. He really needs no introduction. He's trained some of the top fighters in the world today. and my hats off to him for doing a wonderful job a couple of weeks ago with probably one of the top fighters on the planet today. So let me introduce to you Amir's trainer, Virgil Hunter.
Thanks, Oscar. Hello, everyone. Once again, glad to be part of such a big event in boxing, sport that I love. Amir's having a great training camp in preparation for a fight that we know is a very dangerous fight, and I commend him and his courage and his insight on taking the fight. I'm thanking everybody who's involved, and look forward to seeing everyone May 7th.
Thank you very much, Virgil. And now the man of the hour. He's British top fighter Amir King Khan. He was catapulted into the media spotlight after winning the silver medal at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, and he went on to turn pro the following year in July of 2005 with a first round technical knockout victory over Phil Edwards, which obviously has taken him to the world of greatness. Amir Khan is a fighter who tries to put for no challenge, is a fighter who wants to fight the best, is a fighter who has been a multiple world champion, and yet he continues to work hard and push himself to new heights and push himself to the limit. You know, Amir Khan's a fighter who I personally have admired ever since he turned pro, ever since I saw him in the Olympic Games. And so I want to introduce to you a man who, like I said, shies away from no challenge and is willing to fight the very best to be the best. And let me introduce to you Amir King Khan.
Thanks, Oscar. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the conference call. Training camp's going really well. It's going really well as well. We're still continuing all the camp. It's been tough. Obviously, working on new strategies with my trainer Virgil. Be more focused, because I know that one little mistake in a fight like this could get me in trouble. So I've made sure, I'm not making any mistakes from being in the ring, sparring, or being in the gym training, doing mitt work, or even outside the ring, when I'm recovering, and how I'm going to be, keeping that weight on, and keep my, because I want to walk into this ring strong. I don't want to be too light, because by being too light, it can only make me strong. I'm up against a very big middleweight fighter, which is Canelo. He's a middleweight world champion, and we doing everything right. I mean, look, my skills are what are going to win me this fight. I know I'm not going to be stronger than Canelo in any way. I'm not going to be thinking I'm stronger than Canelo. I'm going to stand with him and fight with him. I think my skills in this fight will win me the fight, and also the speed I have is something that I don't think Canelo's experienced. Speed with combinations and speed with power. I think there will be a lot of people who will be. I think I will definitely shock the world come May 7th. Otherwise, I wouldn't take the fight. I've been watching videos of Canelo, and day after day, it's getting more. I'm getting more confident that I can beat this guy. So I'm really looking forward to it, and we still have another 3 to 4 weeks left of training where I'm going to be focusing, and I'm still going to be giving 100%. So when I do walk into that ring, I'm not only going to do myself proud, but I'm going to do my family proud, I'm going to do my country proud, and I'm going to bring back home the belts. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Amir. Before we go to questions, just a quick reminder: we're going to host the media on Monday, April 18th in Oakland. So if you can get a chance to ask a question, then hopefully you can make some plans to go out there and see Amir train live in person. Thank you.
We are ready to start the Q&A session, Victoria.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. If you wish to be removed from the queue, please press the pound sign or the hash key. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. And our first question comes from Chris McKenna from Daily Star. Please go ahead.
Hi, Amir. How's it going?
I'm good, thanks.
You've been training a while now at this weight. I mean, how have you felt it? Is this possibly the best you've ever felt, not having to take weight off?
Yeah, I did feel strong. I feel strong, and I'm sparring with some very tough guys in the gym, and I do see that by holding on the weight is giving me a lot of stability and a lot of strength, so and a lot of power as well. So that's something I know that I'm not going to be naturally stronger than Canelo. Canelo's going to be stronger, obviously. He's more the bigger guy, but I think what's going to help me is just being happy at this weight and not killing myself.
And having not to lose weight, meaning have you had more time to work on tactics and technique and improving that side of your game?
Correct. Yeah, that's what we were working on, because obviously normally we have to be losing a lot of weight and going down in weight and stuff, and that weakens me. So this time I won't be doing that. I'll be just focusing on my game plan for the fight and improving my boxing skills.
Could I ask Virgil a question, please? What did you think, Virgil, when Amir came to you with this fight? What was your first reaction?
Well, it was Shaw who came to me with the fight, and initially I wasn't for the fight, but I hadn't seen Amir yet. Well, I take that back. He was here in the States. I wasn't for the fight. I think what changed my outlook on it was Amir's response to me when I asked him, why do you want this fight? And his response to me was quite assuring that he understood what he was going up against and what he was getting into. So off of that, I felt much more confident in his ability to be competitive and win the fight.
And how do you think he is looking at this weight in training?
Well, I've seen him pass through this weight before, and I've always been impressed when he was at this particular weight on his way down to making weight. So it's good, like he said, to be able to train and to be able to just focus on boxing and not have the worry and the grind of, taking off pounds and doing it right and making sure you're going to peak right and all these things. So it's been a plus. It's been a plus.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. And our next question comes from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My first question is for Virgil. Hey, Virgil.
Hey, Dan.
My question for you, Virgil, I heard what you were just saying about when you asked Amir why he wanted the fight. When you heard that he wanted the fight, besides your opinion as far as, how Amir could match up against Canelo, what was your thought about what it said about Amir's sort of mentality and desire to fight the best fighters? What did you think about that when he asked you about this matchup?
Well, again, Dan, maybe I said it wrong. He didn't ask me initially. I was conversing with Shaw. And once Shaw let me know that the fight was on the table, I asked Amir why he wanted to fight.
No, I heard that part. Yeah. I meant your thought about that when he told you.
When he asked, well, what he told me was what I was thinking also if he went into the fight. And usually it takes maybe 2 to 3 weeks sometimes for a fighter to buy into any strategies and plans you might have, maybe sometimes even longer, but to go into a camp already on the same page, that's really a plus. You can get right to work. So it was quite convincing, but it let me know that he understood what he was going up against and he understood what he could and could not do.
So how impressed are you by the desire to fight like a bigger guy who's, got as much, a lot of experience against top fighters, where your fighter is certainly the underdog? I mean, do you like the idea that he wants to be great like that? Like, what is your thought about that?
Well, you have to be impressed. I mean, it's a step that not many fighters would take under those circumstances. So you have to be impressed. I always said one thing about Amir, even in some of his setbacks, I've never really seen it affect him to the point where he got gun shy or not competitive. He has a personality and characteristics about him that he believes in himself, and he understands why he lost, when he lost, and he just moves forward. So that's a plus in itself. So, yeah, I give him all the credit in the world. He's got more than guts and balls. He's got audacity. So it means a lot.
Is it going to be difficult, do you think, for Amir and for you to, sort of get it through his mind that he's going to have to stay very disciplined with the way he boxes against a fighter that's, as big and strong as Canelo Alvarez? Because obviously that would appear to be part of the plan where nobody's going to expect Amir to stand there and slug it out with this guy. That, as he said in his statement, it's going to be his skills that win this fight, not necessarily because he's a bigger, stronger fighter. Can you keep him disciplined for 12 rounds?
Well, first of all, if he's disciplined, I can keep him disciplined. If he doesn't have the discipline and focus now, he'll never have it. But I believe it's there, and I think it's very intact. And he understands what he needs to do, when he needs to do it. He understands the danger, and he also understands how to win the fight. So it's just going to be a great fight, I believe. And I believe that he has a fight in him that hasn't come out yet. Like all fighters, when they get around 29 to 30, if they're winners, they can just bring a fight out, bring it up. And I believe that fight is in him somewhere, and I expect to see the fight come up that night because all the elements say that it should, and it will. If it ever is going to come up, it'll come up May 7th.
Very good. Thank you, Virgil. I have a question for Amir. Hey, Amir.
Hi, Dan.
I know that you were very disappointed that you did not get a fight with Mayweather. You did not get a fight with Manny Pacquiao, but now you got probably the best guy other than them, and those other two guys now are claimed to be retired. So, what was your thought process to constantly strive to have the biggest fight possible, and then not only have the biggest fight possible with Canelo, but then to go up in weight against a guy that's going to be bigger and stronger than you? What is it that drives you to take that type of risk?
I think it's about making history, in boxing and leaving a great legacy behind, and fighting the best out of there. I wanted the big fight against Mayweather, Pacquiao, and those fights didn't happen. So, I wanted the next big thing, and the next big thing was Canelo. And I remember a long time ago being also speaking about that fight, and it seemed to be more realistic now, in a position where I'm growing up now and getting stronger, and I'm getting to understand boxing a lot more better now, and having a good team around me with Virgil and the team. I think that helps also. So I just needed that big fight now, and because that was something that was going to only give me more confidence and kind of give me that more drive.
It strikes me, Amir, that you sort of, maybe I'm wrong about this, you tell me, I get the feeling from hearing some of your comments, from seeing some of your interviews and reading some of the stories, that you kind of like the fact that you're the underdog, because it will give you even more satisfaction should you be victorious. Can you speak about that mentality?
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great to be the underdog. I mean, it's the first fight I'm walking into as the underdog, because normally I'm walking in as, the favorite, and that puts a little bit of pressure on you and stuff, whereas this time I'm going to be walking in as the underdog, and that way it's a time where I can prove to people this is where I belong. Oblonga's one of the best fighters out there in the world, and it's going to be a great test for me as well.
Thank you, Amir. I have one question for Oscar. Hello, Oscar.
Yeah. Hey, Dan.
Oscar, when you boxed, there's nobody that would doubt that you always strive to fight the very best fighters out there. You fought everybody in your career. When you look at Amir Khan and you see the desire for him to take on these types of challenges, does it in some ways remind you of the attitude that you had? And can you speak about that and the mentality of that, as far as like desiring to fight the very best out there? Because you always did it.
Yeah, that's who Amir Khan is. He's a fighter, a human being that believes in himself, believes in his abilities. He's a hard worker. I strongly feel that every fighter should look at Amir Khan and dare to be great. That's exactly what takes you to the top. Whether they're tough fights or whether they're winnable fights, as long as you take the challenge, that's the only way you're going to know if you're going to be great or not.
Does it remind you of yourself a little bit?
It actually does. It actually does. And I won some, I lost some, but one thing about my career today is that nobody can take that away from me. I dared to be great and fought everybody that was in front of me, and that's who Amir Khan is.
All right, very good. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time today.
And our next question comes from Mitch Abramson from RingTV.com. Please go ahead.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I have a question for Virgil. Hey, Virgil, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Hey, very good. So, Virgil, you were saying that your initial reaction to the matchup was that you were against it. Could you just explain what your thinking was there? Just when you first heard the idea of Amir facing Canelo?
Well, just being logical. Size difference, being first and foremost, and the fact that Amir had been off for a while. Those were the first two things that came to my mind. Canelo has been fighting quite regularly, and you can get into a groove fighting as frequent as he's been fighting, and Amir having some time off. But also, on the other hand, I believe that fighters who have started out as young as Amir has, at 9 and 8 years old, that they need periods of time off. I think that it refreshes them, and I think that that's been proven. Pacquiao the other night, Mayweather fighting Marquez, even Andre coming back and fighting number one. When you've been fighting since you're a kid, those muscle memories, they stay intact, and you don't really get ring rust unless you're doing things in your lifestyle, staying up, staying out, drinking, but whatever you're doing that's detrimental to your physical well-being, that could throw you off, of course, and it would, exhibit to the viewers some sort of rust and things that are missing. But the size and his frequency of fighting, that was the first concern.
Virgil, when you spoke to Amir, you mentioned that his excitement kind of changed your thinking and changed your mind on that. Was there anything else that changed your opinion about the fight, or was it just Amir's, just his confidence?
No, his response, that pretty much did it. I didn't entertain any other thoughts. Just his response.
And then, lastly, about the size issue, heading into the fight, how do you think Amir, obviously Amir's going to be bigger. How do you think he's going to respond to being a bigger fighter? Will that affect his speed, you think, at all?
His speed has not been compromised at all. And I know it's a lot of photos out there. I'll let the public make their own determination at weigh-in or during the fight, but he has not lost the iota of speed. When you're gifted with it like he is, you'll grow with it. It's no different than LeBron James being in high school touching the white square at 190, and he still can do it at 230. So it's really not that much different than a sprinter. Bo Jackson running a 9-1 in at 200 and still doing it at 225. So, no, his speed hasn't been compromised at all.
Okay, thanks, Virgil. I have one question for Amir. Hey, Amir.
Hi there, yeah.
Hey, just wondering, I mean, did you have to convince Virgil that this was the right matchup? And what was that conversation like when Virgil, I guess, expressed that maybe he was, he had some second thoughts on the matchup? I mean, how, just take us through that conversation that you had with him.
I mean, we have to think about it because, end of the day, there's always another day. I mean, we don't want to walk into a fight and get hurt. I do have a life after boxing, and I think by thinking about this fight, and I think by me taking this fight, I think even Virgil probably understood and knew that I'm going to be more focused, and I know that I can't make any mistakes against a guy like this. I've made mistakes in the past against guys who are my own weight because I know naturally I'm more gifted than them, and I have more skill than them, I'm a better fighter than them. They're the ones that probably could be my worst opponents because I don't really have that fear element. Whereas when you're fighting someone who's tough and who's dangerous, and it's going to be a tough fight, then that's what brings that A game out of me. So, I think Virgil understood that as well, and I definitely understand that myself, that I'm going to train more, I'm going to be more focused for a fight like this than I would be for a fight against someone my own way and someone I know who I'm better than.
Okay, thanks, Amir. Good luck.
Thanks.
Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star then 1 on your touchtone phone. And our next question comes from Jacqueline Warrington from Press Association. Please go ahead.
Hi, yeah, this is a question for Virgil. Virgil, we heard Amir say, maybe 10 minutes ago that he intends on shocking the world. It sounds like he recognises he's the underdog in this fight. Given the way the odds seem to be stacked against him, the size difference, etc., how does this compare to your greatest challenges as a trainer?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part. How does it compare to what now?
Your greatest challenges as a trainer.
Well, every fight is a challenge. That's how I feel about it. From an amateur to a prospect to the level that Amir is on. Of course, I understand the whole content of the fight. I understand what comes off a victory, and I understand that by him saying that he intends to shock the world, that quite possibly it could be a shock. It'll be a shock to a lot, but it won't be a shock to some. So he falls somewhere right in that 60% shocked, 40% I'm not shocked, but it means a lot to be able to participate in a sport that you love at this level and within an event of this magnitude. It's very humbling. I feel fortunate. I feel blessed to have been here not just one time, but a few times. So to me, to be able to maybe one day be retired and hopefully have enough health to reflect back, it means quite a bit.
Well, when was the last time you felt, or you had a fighter who felt like the underdog to this extent?
Probably Andre going into the Super 6. I know everybody viewed him as an underdog, but I didn't. I don't view Amir as an underdog in this fight. I'm very confident in his abilities. I think I would be doing him a disservice if I viewed him as an underdog. No, I view him as the top dog. And that's how we are approaching the fight. We're not approaching the fight hoping we get the victory. We're not approaching the fight hoping that it goes our way. We're approaching the fight determined to get the victory and to make it go our way. So that's the approach.
Thanks, Virgil.
You're welcome.
And our next question comes from Ellie Sekbak from ES News. Please go ahead.
Hey, Amir, how's it going? I have to ask you this.
Hello, Ellie.
I'm good. Thanks. Hello. This is the biggest fight of the year. You can't sit on the fence. Those who love you support you. Those who go for Canelo go for Canelo. So what do you tell your supporters, and what do you tell the people who are doubting you?
Well, I know it's the biggest fight. It's probably the biggest fight this year that's going to happen, and I just want to tell them to stay tuned in and watch this fight, because this is going to be a style. It's going to be a fighting style that people are going to love. You've got a boxer versus a fighter. You've got speed versus power, and it's going to be exciting from round one till the end. And it's a fight for me that I want to prove to people that I really do belong up against the best fighters in the world, and I want to be the best one day. So this is a great fight for the fans to watch as well, and it's a great fight I'm going to give to the fans of the UK, because they've always been waiting and expecting a big fight from me, especially with Floyd Mayweather not happening and then Manny Pacquiao not happening. So I want to do this for the UK crowd, and hopefully bring back home the belts, and and definitely it's going to be a big Mexican holiday. I really believe that the UK fans are going to turn out for me, and they're gonna come and support this big fight.
Absolutely, thanks. And then, Virgil, if you could compare, in the history of boxing, who does Canelo remind you of, and who does Amir Khan remind you of?
Boy, you put me in a position where I'd be doing somebody a service and a disservice. Look, I'd like to give each one their own identity. They're one of a kind. So I would probably have to search high and low to get a close comparison, so to speak. But, I mean, there is a time in an athlete's career, if they're gifted, that they should be able to stand alone in their own aura. And I give both of these gladiators that respect.
Thank you. And then one question for Oscar. Oscar, with Manny retiring, Mayweather retiring, what are the implications of this fight? Where does it put the winner?
Well, I mean, it puts the winner as being the man. Now that Pacquiao retired, Mayweather's retired, the winner of this fight becomes the man. And it doesn't happen often, including other sports, where just because you beat the man doesn't make you the man. But in this case here, you have two elite fighters, elite athletes, who are at the peak of their career, who are at the top of their game, and whether Amir wins or whether Canelo wins, the winner is going to be the man in boxing for a very long time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And our next question comes from Deandra LaBouche from Black Sports Online. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Amir. My first question is, when you opted to take the fight with Canelo, why didn't you tell Virgil that this was a discussion you were having? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Victoria, did we lose Amir?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Cecilia, get on
okay.
here.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. My question is for Amir. When you were having the discussions for the Canelo fight, why didn't you tell Virgil ahead of time?
I did know with discussions with his dad, so I did know. He didn't keep me uninformed.
Oh, okay. Because it seemed like, when we spoke to you in Los Angeles that, you didn't know the discussions were going on. So then, Virgil, I'll ask you, since taking...
Hi, Virgil, I'm back on again. I think I've got...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. So, Virgil, since Amir has since joining your stable, what do you think is the biggest change in him from that time until now?
Well, change is always subtle. I've seen him tremendously focused, and I've seen him slightly distracted. So I think in Amir's case, it's where his focus is. If his focus is locked in, he becomes a very formidable opponent. If he's slightly distracted, then he can make his way a little tougher. But even in those situations, I've seen his competitiveness, that his will to win, even when he's been distracted and he's come up against a tougher situation than is expected. I've seen his competitiveness take over and still pull out the victory. I mean, he's a silver medalist at 17. That says winner. So, but when he's focused, he can do some things that you really can't prepare for. And for this fight, he is focused, as he very well knows he has to be.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
And our next question comes from Adam Cottrell from Radio City in Liverpool.
Thank you very much. The majority of my questions have already been asked, but I've just got a couple for Amir. How you doing, buddy? You well?
I'm good, thanks, yeah.
Good to hear you. Obviously, you know that Canelo's going to walk you down, therefore your speed is going to be major in this fight. Are you worried that, obviously, putting on the extra weight, you're going to run out of gas in the championship rounds at the end?
No, I mean, look, we've been conditioning and we've been training very hard. So, you know we're going to expect a Canelo who's going to come forward and try to grind me down, and we know what to expect. I've got some great sparring partners who are going to get me conditioned and get me ready for that kind of pressure. So I'm looking forward to, whatever Canelo brings, really. I'm just going to be working towards a very strong, hard-hitting, come-forward fighting Canelo. And we're going to be ready for that because, if he wants to do that, we're going to have answers for. If he wants to, whatever Canelo does in the fight, we're going to have answers for. So I've basically worked on two different strategies for this fight.
How are you feeling about the weight long-term? Because if you pull this off and your hand's lifted at the end of this bout, there'll be pressure on you to obviously stay at that weight and not drop back down to 147 or 154.
Yeah, it just depends on how we're going to wait and see how everything, how the outcome becomes and what naturally feels good for me. I mean, look, this weight could be amazing for me where I feel strong and it suits me better. So it just depends on, we'll see after the fight. Me and Virgil will sit down afterwards. But I look naturally, I don't think I am. I'm middleweight, naturally. But who knows, by putting this extra bit of muscle and strength on, I think it's only going to maybe make me stronger, and time will tell. It's hard to say at the moment. But while I've been sparring, and while I've been in the gym training, I do feel really strong, I feel really good, and I feel really happy as well. It gives me enough time to spend on skill and work on my defense and work on my boxing skills.
Just finally, Amir, away from this actual fight, just on Olympics, it's Olympic year. Obviously, you shot success in our country with your fantastic escapades in the Olympics. We've heard from Oscar earlier on about his start of his career in the Olympics as well. What's your attitude towards the talk about professional boxers going into the Olympics?
I think it's a hit and miss, really, because a lot of the world class professionals might not enter. I mean, it's something that I'd love to maybe enter because me winning a silver medal and I want to turn that into a gold medal by going to Olympic Games. It would be a little different because obviously you're only fighting 3 rounds, but the minutes of the rounds are going to be same. It could work and it could not. It could not work. It just might be too much of a big risk for these world champions as professionals to go into. I think it just all boils down about what I think. It's really hard to say, really. But I think, if it was me and I had the opportunity to go back to the Olympic Games and change that silver medal to a gold medal, because when I was in Doha recently, I was invited by AIBA, and they invited me to be there, and I watched the guys who were fighting at my weight category, and I was watching them and thinking, I can still beat these guys, even having the same work rate and everything, and even not fighting 12 rounds but fighting 3 rounds. So yeah, it's something maybe I would probably consider. I mean, like I said, time will tell, but before that I have this big fight to focus on, and we'll get past this fight and then we'll see what goes on.
Top man, thanks for your time, man. Knock 'em dead, champ.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And our next question comes from Salvador Rodriguez from ESPN Deportes. Please go ahead.
Hello, Amir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Amir, do you think that the boxing is a logical sport? Do you think that the boxing logic exists?
What do you mean, sorry?
Do you think that boxing is a logical sport?
I mean, boxing, is a sport that you need, end of the day, you've got, it's a sport that you need skill, I think, and you need to have a big heart. I mean, whoever, there's a lot of fights out there that don't happen because a lot of fighters don't basically have the balls to take the fights on. But I think with this fight, me taking this fight, I hope it inspires other young fighters out there and other professionals to take big fights in their boxing career. And if you want to be remembered as a great fighter, you need to take big fights like this. So, that's what boxing is all about, really, and that's one of the reasons I'm in boxing is because I want to be remembered as a great fighter, and I want to achieve everything and fight the biggest fights in my boxing career, because one day when I leave, I don't want to ever be like, I regret not having this fight, and I should have taken this fight, and I should have had this fight, so that's something different. Yeah, everyone's different.
The last time that a Mexican opens a big arena like this time, Canelo will open the T-Mobile Arena was Chavez versus Randall in '94. So do you believe that you are the Randall of Canelo? You are that Randall?
Yeah, Canelo's a great fighter. He's a great fighter, and this is going to be a big event. Whoever comes to this fight is going to be very happy because you've got a style there, and it could be bigger than the Chavez Randall fight, because you had the whole of Mexico, you had the whole of you had the whole world watching that fight, and I think in this fight, especially having two big superstars from two different parts of the world fighting each other, I think this could be a massive fight, really, because not only you've got Great Britain, you've got the whole of Asia, India, you've got Pakistan, you've got the Middle East, you've got America, you've got so many nations who are going to be tuned in and watch this fight. This is a very big fight, and it's just great for boxing. It's only promoting our sport of boxing, and it's only going to, like I said, promote other big fights in the future.
So the last week I talked with Mayweather Senior, and he said me that you are wrong about gaining weight and losing your velocity. So do you believe that you are gaining weight and you don't lose the velocity?
I don't think it's gonna really make a difference on the speed or anything because I've been training and this is more natural for me. Normally what I do, I have to go down in weight and I have to lose weight normally. But this time I'm not going to be losing the weight. This time I'm going to be at my natural weight. I'll be happy making the weight. I'll be keeping the strength. I'll be keeping the speed. So this is all natural for me.
Can you tell me something about your Mexican trainer, Luis Garcia, having you in Oakland?
Yeah, I mean, we love Mexican people. I mean, a lot of people say, my fighting style is like a Mexican. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people say my style is like a Mexican fighter, and I've been watching a lot of Mexican boxers for a long time, and I like the fighting style they have. So this is going to be a great show. I mean, you've got two warriors in the ring come May 7th. They both want to be the best, and they both want to win. So it's what makes this fight even more better and classic.
Final for me is how close do you think that you are for a Mayweather blueprint with Canelo?
Mayweather is his own fighter, and everyone's their own fighter. Everyone's different in that way. So I'm not going to say that, I'm going to do what Mayweather did. I think since Mayweather beat Canelo, Canelo's a better fighter. I've been watching his fights, and I think he's improved a lot as a fighter. So really, I'm just going to have to, beat the Canelo who is going to be in front of me. I know he's going to be changing his style a little bit, but wherever Canelo wins, we can have answers for. And I don't think, Canelo's a strong guy. I mean, there's not much of a blueprint there. There's only one guy who beat him, which is Mayweather. So, I'm sure, and like I said, he's changing as a fighter, he's getting better. So, once we get in that ring, we have a game plan. We have a game plan. We have a strategy to win this fight, and it's all about sticking to that. And I know I can win this fight that way.
Okay, Oscar, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Hello, Oscar. Do you think that the winner of this fight after the Mayweather and Pacquiao leave the boxing should be the next star in boxing, Canelo or Amir?
Well, look, I mean, when I was asked that question before, and what I said was, the winner of this fight is going to be the man. Yeah, and when you take everything into consideration, you look at the resumes. You look at the fight, what the numbers it's going to generate. This is going to be a mega event, and whoever wins this fight can call himself the pay-per-view king. This is part of the stakes that goes along with a fight of this magnitude, and so that's why this fight is so important for both guys, for many reasons.
Okay, thanks so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, Salvador. That was the last question we're taking today. Amir, do you have any final comments to the press still on this call?
I just want to say a big thank you very much for being on this conference and supporting me. The UK press has been great. The press around the world have been great. They've been very supportive in this fight, and they have given me a chance. A lot of people at first didn't give me a chance, and now I think as time's getting closer, they're really seeing that I can go into this fight and win this fight. So I hope to see you all at the fight. It is going to be a big fight, and just want to say a big thanks to you guys again, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. Virgil, are you still on the line? Okay. Shaw, are you still on the line? Do you have any final comments? All right. Oscar, we're ready to go ahead and say the final comments that you have and any reminders.
Thank you very much. I gave you the reminder. Amir Khan will be working out. Whoever didn't have a chance to ask a question, he is opening up his training camp, which will be Monday, April 18, in Oakland. So we will see you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes today's conference. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.